Alright, let's start reading Reverend Insanity. We're probably only going to read 2 or 3 chapters, depending on how long they are. Obviously, I don't know. If they're really short, then we might do like 4 or 5. Or we might just do an RI stream today and then we change the actual name. I don't know. Redo the full count so we can count your white hairs. I have as many as your mom's box does. Okay, cool. Fuck, I have to cut that out from the recording now, you dickhead. Oh, fuck you. I hate you. Okay, Chapter 1. The heart of a demon never has regret, even in death. Fang Yuan quietly hand over the spring-autumn cicada and I'll give you a quick death. Old bastard Fang, stop attempting to resist anymore. Today, all of the major factions of justice have combined together just to destroy your devil lair. This place is already covered in inescapable nets. This time, you will definitely be decapitated. Fang Yuan, you damn demon. Just because you wanted to cultivate the spring-autumn cicada, you've gone and killed thousands of people? Put him to the sword. Who the fuck is this guy? Demon, 300 years ago you insulted me, took away my body's purity, killed my entire family, and executed my 9 generations. From that moment onward, I hated you with a burning passion. Today, I want you to die. Fang Yuan was in a deep green robe that had been torn to shreds. His hair was disheveled and his entire body covered in blood. He looked around. The bloody robes waved slightly in the mountain breeze like a war flag. Fresh blood flowed from the numerous wounds on the body. Just by standing there for a short while, Fang Yuan had already accumulated a large amount of blood underneath his feet. Enemies surrounded him all around, and there was no way out. It was a foregone conclusion that he would die here. Fang Yuan understood his situation clearly, but even in the face of death, his expression did not change. It was calm. His gaze was quiet, his eyes like deep pools of water in a well, so deep that there seemed to be no end. The major factions of justice had surrounded him. Were not just the experienced elders, but also the young and talented heroes. Around the heavily surrounded Fang Yuan, some were roaring, some sneering, and there were eyes that gleamed with light. Some holding onto their wounds while looking fearful. They did not move. Everyone was wary of Fang Yuan's final attack. For 6 hours this moment went on until the evening came, the sun casting its rays upon the side of the mountain, and in that moment it was as if this place was on fire. Fang Yuan, who had been silent as a sculpture the entire time, slowly turned his body. So you're telling me this guy's surrounded by, like, I don't know, King, I assume at least a couple dozen people, there might be more, I don't know, but like a couple dozen people, and everyone for 6 hours is like, bro, listen, someone's got to approach him, like, someone's got to do something, we can't just, we're not, listen, if we spend the rest of our lives here, we might as well just let him kill us, really, but I'm not gonna be the one, okay? Whoever's the first guy up there, he's fucking beating the shit out, he's beating the brakes off of. So, like, I'm not doing it. The group of warriors was suddenly alerted as they all took a big step back. By now, the grey mountain beneath Fang Yuan's feet had long been steeped in a deep red. Due to losing too much blood, his face had become a deathly pale. In the afterglow of a sunset, it had a brilliant luster upon it. Aura farming, even in death. Looking at the setting sun, Fang Yuan lightly laughed. The sun sets above the blue mountain. The autumn moon with the wind of spring. The morning is fine like hair and night is like snow. Whether you succeed or fail, whether you look back, there is nothing left. As he said this, the memories of his previous life on Earth emerged before his eyes. He was originally a Chinese scholar on Earth who chanced upon this world. He had endured a hard life for 300 years and went through another 200 years. About over 500 years of his new life went by in the blink of an eye. So many memories were buried deep inside the heart, began to relive themselves, sprouting into life before his eyes. I failed in the end, Fang Yuan sighed in his heart emotionally, yet he still had no regrets. This end was something he had foreseen. When he made his decision in the beginning, he had prepared himself for this. To be a demon is to be merciless and cruel. Am I supposed to be cheering for the demon? Like, I'm supposed to look at, like, the literal heroes of justice, as the fucking author calls them, not me, I want to be clear, not my words. And I'm supposed to go, nah, I want to go with the demon. The man literally fucking soaked in blood. This is my guy. I'm not saying no. I'm asking a question, okay? I've literally never seen Jason type in chat. He's like, yes. Comes out of the woodworks to go, yes. This is where my words must be said. This end result was something he had foreseen. To be a demon is to be merciless and cruel, a murderer and destroyer. There was no place in heaven or earth for such a thing, turning into an enemy of the world, still having to face the consequences. If the spring-autumn cicada that I have just cultivated is effective, then I shall be a demon in the next life. With this thought, Fang Yuan couldn't help but laugh. Wicked demon, what are you laughing about? Be careful, everyone. The demon is going to attack in his final moments. Hurry up and surrender the spring-autumn cicada. The group of warlords surged forward, and in this moment, with a loud bang, Fang Yuan was engulfed in a surging, blinding light of energy. The spring rain quietly rained down on Qin Chao. Fuck me, that's okay. Music change? Oh, thank you, Kami. Bye, Harsh. The spring rain quietly rained down on Qingmao Mountain. It was already late at night, a light breeze blowing in the light rain. Yet Qingmao Mountain was not covered in darkness. From the side down to the foot of the mountain, dozens of tiny lights shone like a bright band. These lights shone from tall mountains, even though it could not be said to match up to 10,000 lights, yet it was still a few thousand in numbers. Situated on the mountain was Guye village, giving the vast lonely mountain a rich touch of human civilization. In the middle of the village was a magnificent pavilion. A grand ceremony was being held at this moment, and the lights were even brighter than ever, radiating with glory. Ancestors, please bless us. We pray that this ceremony will bring many young men of outstanding talent and intelligence, bringing their families new blood and hope. The head of the Guye clan had a middle-aged appearance. His sideburns were graying, and was clothed in ceremonial white robes. Kneeling on the brownish-yellow floor, his body was straight with his hands held together, eyes tightly shut as he prayed. He was facing a tall black case. There were 3 layers on the case, all housing memorial tablets of ancestors. On both sides of tablets were copper incense, the smoke rising. Behind him were 10 people kneeling in a similar fashion. They wore loose white ceremonial garments, and they were all the clan's elders, important members who had much authority. Gu Yue? Gu Yue? Okay. Behind him, the elders and important clan members solemnly and quietly followed suit. With this, the hall was filled with light thuds as the heads knocked against the floor. When the ceremony was over, the crowd of people slowly got up from the ground and silently walked out of the temple. In the hallway, sighs of relief were heard from the crowd, and atmosphere loosened up. The noise of discussion slowly... If you guys can fucking hear a child screaming, it's because they're trying to give my nephew a bath. And apparently he's not enjoying it. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm just in case. We're not fucking torturing kids here, okay? And I wonder why my fucking YouTube videos are... I wonder why I never make money off of fucking YouTube. And then I fucking... I say shit like this. In the hallway, sighs of relief were heard. Time flies too quickly. In the blink of an eye, a year has gone by. The previous ceremony felt like it just happened yesterday. I can still recall it. Tomorrow is the opening of the annual grand ceremony. I wonder what the new clan blood will show up this year. I hope that some highly talented youths appear. The Gu Yue clan Hasn't seen a genius emerge for 3 years now. Agreed, the Bai village, Jiong village, these few years have all had talented geniuses appear. Especially that Bai Ning Bing from the Bei clan. His talent is quite terrifying. I am fucking butchering these names, and this is why we started off with fucking Lord of the Mysteries, so that the fucking names were like Western, so you guys didn't have to hear me butcher fucking Asian names for like an hour straight. Okay, I'm sorry. The boy's qualifications were quite splendid. In a short amount of time of 2 years worth of training, he had already reached the level of 3 Gu Masters. In a younger generation, he could have said to be as the most outstanding one. It was to the point that even older generations could feel pressured from the promising youth. In time, he would inevitably become the pillar of the clan. At the very least, he would also be an independently strong warrior. No one ever doubted this fact. But for this year's youths that will be participating, not all hope is lost. You're right, Fang Ji's side has appeared as a promising young genius. Able to start talking after 3 months, able to walk after 4. At 5 years of age, he is able to recite poetry. Seems exceptionally intelligent, especially talented. What a pity his parents died early and now he's being raised by his aunt and uncle. Yes, this one has wisdom at a young age. Also harboring big ambitions. In recent years, I've also heard of his creations, Jiang Jingju, Yongmei, and Jiang Chengji. What a genius. I don't. The Gu clan was the last to walk out of the temple. After slowly closing the door, he heard the discussions that were going on in the corridor. The Gu clan head was the last to walk out of the temple. As the head of the clan, it was natural to pay attention to the outstanding and prominent young ones, and so it happens that Fang Yuan was the most eye-catching one amongst the juniors. So is this a time skip? Like Fang Yuan died and then he reincarnated to this kid like a couple years later? Experience has shown that those who have photographic memories at a young age, or those who possess strength that could rival an adult, or those who have great inborn talents, all had outstanding cultivation qualifications. Or is this a time leap back and they're showing like his origins? In this world anyway. If this child shows A grade potential with great care, he could even compete against Bai Ning Bing. If it's B grade in the future, he could also become a banner of the Gu Yue clan. But with this sort of early intelligence, the percentage of B grade isn't that big, but highly possible to be grade A. Have they considered that maybe he's a special grade threat? Maybe he's the reincarnation of Gojo Satoru. At once, with a cough, he faced the clan elder and said, "Everyone, the hour is late. For tomorrow's opening ceremony, you should all rest well and take care of your energy levels." At his words, the elders looked startled. They all looked at each other with a hint of caution. The clan's heads meant well, but everyone knew that what he was aiming to convey. Every year, to compete for these young geniuses, the elders would fight amongst themselves to the point of reddened ears and bleeding heads. They should stay well rested and replenish themselves when the competition begins for tomorrow. Especially with that Gu Yue Feng Yuan, whose grade A potential was huge, not counting the fact that both his parents were deceased, but also that he was one of the only 2 descendants of Feng Ji's bloodline left. If one was able to get their hands on and bring him into their family line with great care and training, one could secure 100 years of prosperity. However, I'm going to go ahead and say what needs to be said first. When you compete, do it fair and square. No tricks and conspiracies, or damage to the clan's unity. Keep this in mind, everyone. We wouldn't dare. We wouldn't. We'll keep it in mind. Then this is a good night. Please, take care, Elder. The Elder slowly dispersed with deep thought. Not long after, the corridor became quiet, and the wind from the spring rain breezed through the window. Immediately, he breathed in the fresh, moist air of the mountain. Even if it was late at night, most homes still in the village still had lights on, which was unusual. Tomorrow is the open... So what I'm getting here, I don't know if this makes any fucking sense, or I'm like on crack or whatever, but this village, they take, like, they have some kind of like competition to get kids or whatever. This is sounding like some Epstein Island shit, the way I'm describing it. So, like, to be able to who gets which kid, and then obviously you want the one with the most talent. God, this... I can't make this sound good. This sounds so bad. I'm assuming they have, like, a hierarchical society based on, like, strength or whatever. Even if it was late at night, most of the homes in the village still had lights on. This is the hope for the clan's future. With many lights dancing in his eyes, the clan had sighed. At the very same moment, a pair of clear eyes quietly looked at the same light sparkling. Gu Yue village. This is 500 years ago. Looks like the spring autumn cicada really worked. Oh, so he just got sent back. Okay, so he probably didn't even exist 500 years. Well, no, he did exist 500 years ago because he said he had been in this world for 500 years. So maybe he went back to like his past self, but with like knowledge of the future. So all we're getting is just like him being able to progress a lot faster because he has like a lot of... This is giving me very omniscient reader viewpoint vibes. A little bit. Not the demon, and because, you know, the main character of that show is actually a good person. But the use of the autumn cicada is to reverse time. In the 10 big mystical goo rankings, the spring autumn cicada managed to be ranked 7th. Naturally, it was no mere creature. In short, it was the ability to be reborn. With the use of the spring autumn cicada, I have been reborn, going back to the time of 500 years ago. Fang Yuan stretched out his hand. His sight fixated on his own young, pale palm and slowly clenched them, embracing the truth of this reality with all his might. Luvian, how's it going, man? How you doing? 500 years of experience. This truly is a dream. But he knew clearly that this was not a dream. Okay, it's definitely longer chapters, I'm not gonna lie to you. Ranked 7, bro, what's stronger than that? Immortality, omniscience, omnipotence. Like, I could keep going. There's a lot of things stronger than that, Kami. This shit is like, in terms of fucking web novel power scaling, going back 500 years is like, ranking it as 7th is quite generous. This shit would be... You bring this shit... Like, think about it. Going back in time, what is that, a fucking sequence 2? Oh, cool, you can do that? Fucking no one gives a shit. Get out of here, bro. I'm good, Livia. I'm honestly a little tired, dude. My day is fucking whack. I don't want to... Like, I'm not going to go into it right now, but... remind me tomorrow during stream. I'll tell you guys about it. Actually, I'll just... This one I'll remember. The fuck you know about well not... Fuck you, Kami. I've read 3,000 chapters of web novels. You can suck my dick. Chapter 2. Going back in time with 500 years of knowledge. Okay, these are definitely long chapters. We'll just do 2, okay? We'll just do 2. Going back in time... Okay. It is said in legend that a river of time exists in this world. It supports the world's time flow and circulation. And by using the spring-autumn cicada's power, one could travel back upstream and return to the past. There is much conflicting opinion on this mythical tale. Many do not believe it, and some are skeptical to the truth. Few people dare actually believe it. Because every time one uses the spring-autumn cicada, one must pay with their life, letting their entire body and cultivation be the driving force to use its power. Such a price is just too expensive, and the thing that people just cannot accept is the fact that after paying your life, you don't even know what the outcome will be. So if someone has the spring-autumn cicada, they would not dare use it indiscriminately. What if the rumors were fake? And what if it was just a scam? If Fang Yuan were not cornered in such a state, he would not use it so hurriedly. But now Fang Yuan was thoroughly convinced, because the reality of the truth had been laid bare before his eyes, and there was no denying it. He truly had been reborn. It's just a pity. From the start, I had wasted an absurd amount of time and effort, killing hundreds of thousands of... Did I fucking misread that? Did this motherfucker just tell me he killed hundreds of thousands of people? Eh? From the start, I had wasted an absurd amount of effort, killing hundreds of thousands of people, making even the heavens furious and inciting the people's vengeance. Went through suffering and multiple hardships to finally attain and refine this good goo. What the fuck is goo? Is that like chi? Fang Yuan thought with a sigh. Even though he had been reborn, the spring-autumn cicada did not come with him. So the spring-autumn cicada is like a physical object? Humans are the greatest amongst thousands of creatures. The goo is the essence of the heaven and the earth. Goo comes in thousands of shapes and sizes, of strange and mysterious variety. There are too many to count. Some goo could be used once or twice or thrice before dissipating, and some goo could be reused over and over, as long as it is not used over its limits. That said, it is probable that the spring-autumn cicada is one of those types that can only be used once before disappearing for good. Among, how's it going, man? I'm good, how you doing? Wait, hold on. So it's a one-time only... But then if the spring-autumn cicada is a one-time use thing, how do you know what it does? Because no one's ever used it. And if it was ever used, then it can't be used again. But even if it's gone, I can still refine another. You can make more. I'm honestly still, I'm not gonna lie. I've done it in my previous life, why can't I do it in this? After the thoughts of pity were put aside, Fang Yuan's heart burst forth with ambition and determined feelings. To be able to be reborn, this fact made the loss of the spring-autumn cicada entirely acceptable. Not to mention that he had something precious with him, so it's not like he lost everything. This precious treasure was his 500 years worth of memories and experience. In his memories are a multitude of all kinds of treasures and precious items that no one has opened yet in this time. All the big events and incidents that he could easily grasp by the veins of history, there are countless numbers of figures. Some are predecessors of hidden levels, some are geniuses, some people not even born. Also, in these 500 years of life are memories of painstaking cultivation and rich combat experience. Okay, listen, you guys can hate me or whatever, I get it. All I'm gonna say is, if you come back with 500 years of fighting experience, having killed hundreds of thousands of people, and people are going, well, he seems pretty clever, you know, like, he's maybe Class B, maybe Class A talent, all I'm gonna say is, you're not that clever, bro. You're not as clever as you fucking seem to think. Because they're like, maybe he's like Class B. You're like, okay, I'm sorry. 500 years of experience, or like, yeah, 500 years of experience, you can right off. With all his memories and experience, he had undeniably grasped the overall situation and upcoming opportunities. With good planning and execution, he could empower the situation with great fierceness and elegance. It was not a problem now that he could take a step over others, breaking the higher boundaries. So how to go about this? Fang Yuan was incredibly sensible. He collected himself together and faced the night rain outside, pondering. With this thought, things began to feel complicated. After thinking for a moment, his brows wrinkled. 500 years of time was rather long, and don't mention those muddled memories that cannot be recalled. Even remembering the hidden locations of treasures or special encounters were a lot. But the main issue was the locations were separated amongst a long distance and had to be accessed or visited at certain points in time. The most important thing is cultivation. The me right now has not even opened the primeval sea, has not stepped onto the path to be a goo master. I'm a mere mortal. I have to hurry and cultivate, catch up to the history, and seize the opportunity with the best advantage. I wouldn't want to be noticed if I had all the secrets of the world. Yeah, but like, I would at least want to be like, okay, clearly he's like a level 8 fucking talent. I wouldn't want people to be like, damn, like he's just on the edge of like what is fucking humanly possible. This motherfucker's like, oh well, we only get like his kind of generation every like 2 years or whatever. Like, I guess it's kind of impressive. He said it was a gamble and only rumors that it went back in time. That's why he only used it right before death. You're talking about the original one before he took. Oh, he reincarnated into his original body right now. And so they're talking about the original him going, oh, this one's pretty good, not even knowing that this one now has 500 years of experience stacked on top of that natural innate talent. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Kami. Okay. Not to forget, many of these hidden locations and treasures were useless without proper foundation. Instead, I'd be walking into a wolf's den looking for death. The problem in front of Fang Yuan right now was cultivation. He had to increase the level of his foundation ASAP. If he were slow like in his first life, he'd be too late. To cultivate as soon as possible, I have to borrow the resources of the clan. With the state I am in now, I have no power or ability to travel back and forth through dangerous mountains. Even an ordinary mountain bear can take my life. Mountain boar can take my life. If I can reach the cultivation of the 3rd level Goo Master, it'll mean I have the means to protect myself and leave the mountain. Through the eyes of a 500-year-old person who had cultivated in the demonic way, Qing Mao Mountain was just too small. Gu Yue Village even felt like a cage. While this cage restricted freedom, the sturdy bars of the cage also brought about a kind of safety. In this short time, I'll stay in the cage. As long as I can reach the 3rd level Goo Master, I can leave this poor mountain. Luckily, tomorrow is the awakening ceremony, and I'll be able to start training as a Goo Master soon. When he thought about the awakening ceremony, old memories that had been buried away in his heart for long had resurfaced. Talent, huh? He sneered. At this moment, the door to his room was lightly pushed open as a teenager walked in. Big brother, why are you standing in the rain? The youth was slim, slightly shorter than Fang Yuan. His face resembled Fang Yuan's greatly. As Fang Yuan turned his head to look at this young man, a complicated look flickered across his face. It's you, my twin little brother, he raised his eyes, with his expression returning to that of cold indifference. Feng Zhang lowered his head and looked at his own toes. This is his signature stance. I saw that Big Brother's window was not shut, so I thought I'd come and close it. Tomorrow's the awakening ceremony. It's so late. You haven't gone to bed yet, Big Brother. If Uncle and Auntie knew, they'd be worried. Feng Zheng was not surprised at Feng Yuan's coldness. Ever since he was a child, his older brother had been like this. Sometimes he would wonder, maybe a genius is just like that, rather different from the ordinary. Even though he had the same look as his older brother, he felt that he was an ordinary, like an ant. They were born from the same womb at the same time, and yet the heavens are so unfair. The elder brother endowed with gleaming talent, while he was as ordinary as a stone. Everyone around him would say, "This is Feng Yuan's little brother," when they mentioned him. His aunt and uncle would tell him to learn from his elder brother. Even when he looked into the mirror sometimes, he would feel disgusted at his own face. Average little brother experience. This motherfucker's younger to his brother by like 6 minutes or whatever. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? I bet Gojo Satoru could do it with much more ease than yourself, idiot." These thoughts had been ongoing for many years, accumulating day and night into his heart, like a giant stone pressing against his heart. These few years, Feng Zheng's head lowered more and more, and he grew quieter. Worried. At the thought of his aunt and uncle, Feng Yuan laughed silently. He could still remember how the parents of this world had both lost their lives on one of the clan's missions when he was only 3, and his brother and him became orphans. In the name of his upbringing, his aunt and uncle grabbed hold of the inheritance left behind by their parents while inflicting harsh treatment against the younger brother and himself. A real younger brother is getting WWE moves experimented on you? Yeah, and getting your fucking shit kicked out of you the first time you decided to try to standing up, and then you decided not to do that for a little bit longer until you were a little bit older and a little bit stronger, and then by then you had grown some kind of mutual respect amongst each other. Oh, I'm sorry, did I cut too close to Heart Kami? With this, he managed to startle people. Wait, no, hold on. He originally had planned to become an ordinary person, even to conceal his abilities and bide his time, but his life was difficult, making Fang Yuan have no choice but to expose some of his talents. The so-called talent is merely a mature intellect soul that carried a few of Earth's popular ancient poems. With this, he managed to startle people and capture attention. Because of the pressure of the outside world, the young Fang Yuan made a decision to keep a cold, indifferent expression to protect himself, reducing the possibility of revealing secrets. Over time, the coldness would become a habit. Thus, his aunt and uncle were no longer as harsh on him and his brother. As the years passed and they got older, the future became more optimistic, and treatment got better. It was not love, but an investment. It's hilarious how his little brother never saw the truth. Not only was he deceived by their aunt and uncle, but he also started burying resentment inside. Although he looked like a good-natured boy and honest now, in Fang Yuan's memories, when his brother was found out to be an A-grade talent, the clan spent much effort in raising him with all they had. After all, the buried resentment and jealous and hate was released, and many a time Fang Zheng would target, suppress, and make life difficult for his own elder brother. As for his own grade, it was only a C-grade talent. Fate loved to play a joke. A pair of twins, the older only had C-grade talent, but had been known as a genius for a dozen years. The younger, who was always overlooked, was the one with A-grade talent instead. The results of the awakening ceremony left the clan in shock. The treatment of the two brothers suddenly reversed after that. The younger brother was like a dragon rising up to the heavens, and the older like a phoenix that fell to the ground. So Fang Yuan, when he was in his original life, got like a shit grade in the awakening ceremony? And then his brother, I guess, became a dick after that? After that, the many hardships and troubles from his own younger brother, the cold eyes of his aunts and uncles, the contempt of his clan people. Did he hate it? Fang Yuan in his previous life did. He hated his own lack of talent, how heartless the clan was, hated how fate was so unfair, but now, with his experiences, using this to rethink this course of his heart was actually calm and not a shred of hatred. What was there to gain from resentment? Oh fuck, no. Thinking about it from another point of view, he could understand his younger brother, aunt and uncle, even those enemies from 500 years later who attacked him. The strong eat the weak, the survival of the fittest. These have always been the rules of this world. Everyone has self-ambitions, always struggling to grasp opportunities. Among the war and killing, what is there not to be understood? 500 years of life experience have allowed him to understand all of this. With a heart that wants to gain immortality, if someone tries to prevent the pursuit of his, no matter who it is, he will kill and live through it. The aspirations in his heart were too big. Stepping onto this road was to be the making of the world your enemy, and it was destined to be alone, destined to kill. This was the conclusion of 500 years of life. Revenge is not my intention. The demonic path does not compromise. With that, he couldn't help but laugh and gave his younger brother a faint glance. You can leave. Fang Zheng's heart shook as he felt his brother's eyes, sharp like an ice blade. Under such a gaze, he felt like he was naked in the snow. I'll see you tomorrow, big brother. Not daring to say any more, Fang Zheng closed the door and left. Okay, these are really, really long chapters. Fucking hell. So let's just do one more, and then we'll probably just call it for stream, okay? Because these chapters are taking me like 20 minutes a piece. Dude, 20 minutes a piece for chapters? And this shit is like, how fucking long is this? Dude, I'm gonna be reading this bitch for fucking 3 years. What are you talking about? We can't read this. This shit is like 20 minutes a chapter. Please go inside and scram. The patrolling night watchman banged his wooden clappers in a rhythm. The sound spread into the high pillar houses. Fang Yuan opened his dry eyelids with his heart silently thinking, it is already the hour before dawn. He had been lying in bed thinking for a long time. He thought about a lot. He probably only slept a little over 2 hours. His body had not yet started cultivating. The energy was not so vigorous, and thus his body and mind were still shrouded in exhaustion. But with 500 years of experience, Fang Yuan had long built up a deep steel-like determination. This sort of sleep-deprived exhaustion was nothing to him. Immediately, he shoved away the thin silk blanket and got up neatly. He opened the window and found that the spring rain had stopped. The mix of fragrance of the earth, trees, and wildflowers greeted him. Fang Yuan felt his head clear, the sleepiness washing away cleanly. Right now, the sun had yet risen, and the sky still had a deep, dark blue hue. Not dark, not yet bright. Looking around, the tall houses made of green bamboo and woods contrasting with the mountain was a sea of pale green color. The tall houses had at least 2 floors. It was the mountain folks' unique structure of a house. Due to the mountain's uneven terrain, the first floor is massive wooden stakes. The second floor is where the people reside. Fang Yuan and his brother, Feng Zheng, stayed at the second floor. Unhinged! Holy shit, you're alive? Bro, how's Iran? Can we get some on-the-ground updates? How's it looking? Is it rough? Young master, Fang Yuan, you're awake. I will go upstairs and wait for you to wash up. At this moment, a maiden's voice floated up. Looking down, Fang Yuan saw his own personal servant, Shen Chu. Her looks were only slightly above average, but she dressed up well. Shen Chu wore a green robe with long sleeves and trousers. She had embroidered shoes on her feet and black hair with a pearl hairpin. She looked happily at Fang Yuan while carrying a water basin. This water was at the right temperature and was used to wash the face. After rinsing his mouth, he used a willow twig with snow salt to clean his teeth. Shen Kui waited gently, her face wearing a smile and her eyes lively as spring. After she was done helping Fang Yuan dress, her plump breasts rubbing against his elbow or back a few times. Fang Yuan's face showed no expression, his heart as calm as water. The servant girl was nothing but his aunt and uncle's watch eye, and was vain and heartless. In his previous life, she enraptured him. But after the awakening ceremony, when his status plummeted away, she quickly turned away her head and gave him countless disdainful looks. What does enraptured mean? I don't actually gave intense pleasure or joy to? Ooh. The servant girl was nothing but when Feng Zheng came over, he was in time to see Shen Kui smoothing the creases of the clothing of Fang Yuan. His eyes filled with a flicker of jealousy. These years living together with his older brother under the care of Fang Yuan, he had also had a servant waiting on him. But his servant was not a youthful girl like Shen Kui, but a fat, wide old woman. Oh my god, Unhinged, your mom's in Reverend Insanity? You didn't tell me. Bro, we would have read this sooner. Is she a bigger character? Does she come up later? I wonder what day can Shen Kui wait on me like this. I wonder what it feels like, Feng Zheng thought in his heart. His aunt and uncle, biased, loved to see Fang Yuan was no secret to everyone. Originally, he did not even have a servant to wait on him. It was Fang Yuan who decided to take the initiative and ask for one. Although there was a status difference of master and servant, but usually Feng Zheng did not dare underestimate Shen Kui. That was because her mother was the Mother Shen, who stood beside his aunt and uncle. Mother Shen was the caretaker of the entire household. Having full trust of the aunt and uncle, her authority was not small. All right, no need to tidy up, Fang Yuan impatiently brushed away Shen Kui. She was just trying to seduce him. His clothing had long been tidy. Shen Kui and the brightness of her future, Fang Yuan's possibility of having a A-grade talent was huge. If she could be his concubine, she would be able to elevate from servant status to master, quite a big step. In his previous life, Fang Yuan was deceived by her and had feelings for Shen Kui. After his rebirth, he was as clear as a blazing fire, his heart as cold as ice. You can leave, Fang said, not even daring to look at Shen Kui. Shen Kui pouted slightly, feeling that today, Fang Yuan's puzzling behavior was rather odd and upsetting. She wanted to reply in a spoiled manner, but scared by his cold and confusing nature. She opened her mouth a few times and closed it, before ended up saying yes and retreating. Are you ready? Fang asked his younger brother. Yuan asked his younger brother. Fang is the family name, right? His younger brother stood at the doorway, his head bowed to look at his toes, muttered a slight yes. Zhang had been awake since the fourth watch, too nervous to fall back asleep. He quietly got out of bed and got ready a long time ago. Yuan nodded. In his previous life, he was not clear about his younger brother's thoughts, but now, how could he not understand? But right now, it was meaningless to him. And he lightly said, then let's go. The two brothers left the home. On the way, they bumped into many youth of similar ages, all in groups of 2 or 3. Look, guys, those are the Fang brothers their ears could pick up. The one walking in front is Fang Yuan. The Fang Yuan who created the poems. So that's him. His face is expressionless, as if he has no regard for others, as the rumor says. Someone said in a sour tone. If you were like him, you could act like that too, someone coldly replied. Zhang listened expressionlessly. He had long been accustomed to this kind of discussion, his head low, following quietly. By now, the light of dawn peeked over the horizon, casting Fang Yuan's shadow over his face. The sun rose gradually, but Fang Yuan suddenly felt like he was walking into the darkness. This darkness was coming from his older brother. Maybe in this life, he would never be able to escape the imprisoning huge shadow. He felt a burst of pressure on his chest, making it difficult to breathe. This talk is a good example of saying, those of outstanding talent easily bring about jealousy from others, Fang Yuan thought with a sneer. No wonder, when it was announced that he had C-grade talent, he would be surrounded by enemies and suffer harsh, disdainful coldness. Supposed to be Feng Zheng here? I figured that like halfway through coming. Behind him, Feng Zheng's breathing got dreary and he stopped listening. What Fang Yuan did not manage to realize in his previous life, he could perceive with the finest detail in this, the ability of keen insight that he had gained from 500 years of experience. He suddenly thought of his aunt and uncle, how scheming they were, and giving him Shen Kui to monitor him, and passing his younger brother an old wet nurse. Not including other things in his life, were different among them. All these actions had intentions. They wanted to cause unhappiness in his younger brother's heart and instigate a rift between them. People are not worried about whether they receive less. People are worried about whether whatever they received is distributed well. In this previous life, his experiences were too little. While his younger brother was too foolish and naive, his aunt and uncle successfully instigated a rift between them. After being reborn in the awakening ceremony, it seemed like the situation was difficult to change. But with Fang Yuan's evil way of means and wisdom, it's not like the situation can't be changed. His younger brother can be suppressed entirely. That young Shen Kui could turn into a concubine early. Not forgetting his aunt and uncle and clan elders, he at least had several hundred ways of beating them. But I don't feel like doing that, Fang Yuan said. So what if it was his own younger brother? Without the blood relations, his younger brother was just an outsider. He could give up on him. So what if Shen Kui grew prettier? Without love or loyalty, she was just a heap of flesh. Keep her as a concubine? She's not even worthy. Okay, listen, giving up on the younger brother seems kind of crazy to me. Like, he didn't do anything to you. Now, you're gonna say, like, oh, well, he was mean. Like, he grew up in your shadow his entire life. He got less than he... Like, yeah, he was overshadowed, and I doubt even in his first life he ever did anything to try to alleviate that while he was getting better treatment. So, like, no, just be, like, a good brother. It's not fucking rocket science, bro. So what if it was his aunt or uncle or the clan elders? They were just passerbys. Why waste energy to beat up these people? As long as you don't get in my way, you can go ahead and scram. I don't need to care about you. Okay. Honestly, that one went by a little quicker than expected. Let's do one last one. Would you guys be up for that? Let's do 4 chapters. That's like a good place. We'll end it there, okay? Okay, today's just gonna be a Reverend Insanity stream then, I guess. Fuck it. Alright, that fucking title is a lie. I lied. Get rolled. I scammed you guys. No COI today, baby. Alright, Ooth, never say I fucking never did anything for you, okay? God. I'm gonna... I don't know what, but... You owe me. No, you don't. It's considered a birthday gift. I don't have anything else for you, so... the sun rises in the sky, the sun ray brilliant. The fog mountain is not... Love you too, buddy. Love you too. The fog mountain is not very thick. The sharp rays easily pass through. Over 100 15-year-old youths gathered in front of the clan pavilion. Is this Donald Trump's house? Dude, I gotta stop saying this shit on a recorded fucking shit. I'm never gonna be allowed back into the States. The clan pavilion was in the middle of the village, reaching 5 stories and having sharp tilted roofs. It was heavily guarded. Before the pavilion was a square, and in the pavilion was a shrine of the Gu Yue ancestor memorial tablet. Every generation of clan head had lived in the pavilion. With every major ceremony or big incident, the clan elders would gather together and discuss meetings here often. This was the entire village's authority central. Good, all of you are punctual. Today is the awakening ceremony. It is your life's great turning point. I won't say much, just come with me. The one responsible at this moment was the elder of the academy. His beard and hair were white, and he was in high spirits. As he led the young teenager into the pavilion, however, they did not go up, but they were led downstairs after going through the entrance of a great hall. Following down a constructed stone ladder, they went into an underground cave. We don't say Gu Yue. Don't? So what do you want me to say? Just village, I guess? Okay. The group of youths made surprised and amazed noises. The underground cave was beautiful, stalactites sparkling with the colors of a rainbow. Fang Yuan was mixed into the crowd, quietly observing all that was happening. In his heart, he thought, hundreds of years ago, the clan came to the mountain and settled down after migrating from the central lands to the southern border. It was when they found a spirit spring in the underground cave. The spirit spring produces a large number of primeval stones. It could be said that this was the foundation of the village. They walked several hundred steps. It got darker and the sound of water were faintly heard. After turning a corner, a 3 jing wide underground river greeted them. But now the colorful lights of the stalactites had disappeared. In the darkness, the river emitted a faint blue light, like a star river of the night sky. The river flowed from the dark depths of the cave. Inside the clear waters, one could see fish, aquatic plants, and even sand beneath the river. Opposite the river was a sea of flowers. Just got my cut. Is that like a mob? Is that like a mob style? Like you guys beat someone up and you got like 40% of the money, or are you referring to you get a haircut? The two are wildly different. Bullseye, how's it going, man? This was the clan's closely cultivated moon orchids. The beautiful blue and pink colored petals were shaped like a crescent moon. The flower stem were like jade, the center of the flower shining like the sort of warm brilliance that radiates from pearls underneath the light. At first glance, in the dark background, the flower sea looks like a huge piece of land covered in bluish-green carpet dotted with countless pearls. The moon orchid is a food for a lot of goo. This flower sea could be said as the clan's biggest cultivation medium, Fang Yuan thought. Wow, so pretty! It's beautiful! The new sights opened the young teenager's eyes. Each one of them had a light radiating from their gaze. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just expecting a fucking email. I haven't gotten it and I'm starting to fucking lose my mind. Fuck, I still haven't got it. The new sight opened the young teenager's eyes. Alright, listen as I call your name. Those who are called must walk through the river to the opposite bank, as far as you can. As the closer you are, the better it goes. All clear? All clear, the youths replied. Before they actually came here, they heard from their family members or seniors talk about it. It was known that the further you can walk, the better your talent. Chen Bo, the elder, held the name list and called out. The river was wide, but not deep. It covered up to the youth's kneecaps. Chen Bo's face was filled with seriousness as he stepped into the flower sea ashore. As he did so, he could feel an invisible pressure, as if there was a wall in front of him that he could not see, blocking him from walking. At this moment, the flowers at his feet suddenly gave off a weak light. The light gathered around Chen and entered his body. For a moment, he felt the pressure drop. The invisible wall suddenly softened. With this, Chen gritted his teeth and mustered his strength, walking forward. He tried to force his way in a stifle, yet after 3 steps, the wall in front of him hardened yet again. As he watched this elder sigh while recording what happened. Chen Bo, 3 steps, no talent to become a goo master. Next, Zhao Ji. You'll remember those that come back, don't worry. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. These names, I'm gonna have a hard time remembering them, okay? Fucking Klein Moretti, I can remember. Leonard, I can remember. Sharon, I can remember. Chen Bo, I'm gonna have one bitch of a time trying to remember this, okay? Chen Bo was deathly pale as he walked back to the river, back to the youths, clenching his teeth. Without the endowed talent, he could live as a normal human, holding the lowest position in the clan. Ah, fucking normie. His stature was shaky. It was a huge blow to him, as if reality had killed all his hopes. Many people threw him pitiful gazes, while even more had fixated stares as the second person crossing the river. It was a pity that this youth could only walk 4 steps forward. He did not have talent either. Not everyone has the talent to naturally become a goo master. Generally speaking, it's not bad if 5 out of 10 people have talent. In the clan, this ratio is higher, reaching 6. This is because the Gu Yue's clan ancestor, the first-generation clan leader, was a famous, legendary man. Fucking Gojo Satoru! I'm sorry. As the cultivation reasons, his bloodline carried powerful genes. Thus, the average quality of the talent in the clan was generally higher, as they carried his blood in their veins. After 2 consecutive failures, the other clan elders, observing the scenes in the dark, started making ugly expressions. Even the clan had frowned slightly. The next, Mo Bai. Mo Bai? Here, a horse-faced youth came forward. He was tall, looking much sturdier than the others. There was a brave aura about him. He walked the river in a few steps and reached the opposite bank, 10, 20, 30 steps. He walked until he reached 36 steps before he could finally go no further. Good. Mo Bei, B-grade talent, come here, let us see your primeval sea. Mo Bei walked back to the elder's side. The latter stretched out his hand and put on the juvenile's shoulder. Closing his eyes, he checked with focus and retracted his hand and nodded. Primeval sea, measuring 6 by 6, vigorously trained. The special talent can be measured by 4 grades, A through D. D grade talents is someone who is raised for 3 years would be able to become a rank 1 senior, becoming the foundation of a family. C grade talent after 2 years will usually be able to become a rank 2 senior, becoming a clan's backbone. Grade B must be cared for, often becoming a clan's future elder. With 6 or 7 years of training, they can even become a rank 3 Goo Master. When it comes to grade A, even if it was just 1, would bring great luck to the entire clan. Great care must be given. With this talent, in about 10 years, they can become a rank 4 master. At that moment, they would be able to compete for the position of the head of the clan. So all the elders that we see are either rank B or A. In other words, as long as this Mo Bei grew up, eventually he'd be one of the elders of the clan. That is why the elders laughed happily. The elders, watched in darkness, also sighed in relief. This elder was also horse-faced, known as Mo Bei's grandfather, Mo Chen. His face, already smiling, looked at the others. What do you think? My grandson isn't bad, huh? Qi Lian had a head full of red hair. He made an annoying not replying. It was apparent that his expression had really darkened. After about an hour, half of the youths had already walked through the Sea of Flower. There were quite a number of C and D ranks among them, while half of those had no talent at all. The bloodline is getting thinner. These few years, the clan hasn't had any rank 4 masters to strengthen the bloodline. The 4th generation clan head was the only rank 5 master, but in the end he perished together with the Flower Wine Monk and did not leave any descendants. Bro, imagine being a rank 5 talent and having or rank 5 Goo Master and having no descendants. Oh my god. The amount of negative riz you gotta have to be able to pull no bitches at fucking rank 5 Goo Master. End it all, brother. Oof, it's over. It's fucking negative riz. Like, women actively run away from you. God. At this moment, an elder shouted, Qi Chen. Upon hearing this, they all looked at Qi Lian. This was Qi Lian's grandson. Qi Lian had a small and short build with a face full of pockmarks. He was clenching his fist, his entire face sweating. It was evident that he was incredibly nervous. What if he's fat? Bro, if you're a grade 5 Goo Master and you're still not able to lose weight, I'm sorry, bro, that shit's over, okay? Oof. I'm sorry. It's over. As he walked to the opposite bank, the lights entered his body. After walking for 36 straight steps, he stopped. Another B grade. The youth started a commotion, sending Qi Chen with envious stares. "Ha ha!" Qi Lian shouted, staring proudly at Mo Bei. This was the first time Mo Chen's turn to have a sour face. In the midst of the crowd, Fang Yuan stroked his chin thoughtfully. In his memories, the clan heavily punished Qi Chen because he cheated during the awakening ceremony. In reality, Qi Chen only had a grade C talent, but because his grandfather, Qi Lian, helped him fake the results, he appeared to have grade B talent. To be honest, if he wanted to cheat, Fang Yuan could think of countless ways of doing so, some ways even more perfect than Qi Chen's method. If B grade or A grade talent appeared, they would receive the clan's huge favor. But firstly, Fang Yuan had just been reborn. It was hard to prepare the cheating. Secondly, even if he managed to cheat, he would not be able to fake his cultivation speed. He would be exposed. But Qi Chen was different. His grandfather was Qi Lian, one of the 2 elders with the most authority in the clan. Qi Lian would be able to cover up for his grandson. Qi Lian was always hostile against Mo Chen. These 2 elders are the 2 clans' biggest influences. Good lord. To suppress his opponents, he would need to use his own grandson to have outstanding talent. It is also because he was helping from behind. Chi Chen was able to conceal the truth for a time. In my memories, if it were not for that incident, the truth would never have been found. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with light, his mind thinking upon ways to use this knowledge. If he exposed the matter on the spot, he would receive a bit of a reward, but then would offend the highly powerful Qi Lian. Within a short amount of time, he could also not blackmail them. Due to having low status, it would just backfire. At this moment, he heard the shout, Fang Yuan. Right, well, no place better than a fucking cliffhanger to end it. Alright, I think we read for just about an hour. That's not bad. Oh my god, an hour on the dot. Okay, we didn't read for an hour because I kind of bullshitted for like 5 minutes at the start. Alright, that's what I got, okay? Alright, well, listen, I know this is not a COI stream as promised, but okay, we read something, okay? You guys are... And plus my go Uth asked for this, so how could I say no to the kid? It's his birthday. What am I, a fucking asshole? Yeah, pretty good stream. Pretty good stream. We'll go back to COI probably tomorrow. Although I have to go to boxing one of these days, dude. So I don't know. We'll figure it out fucking sometime, okay? Probably tomorrow, maybe Thursday. Maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, thank you so much everyone for coming for stream. If you're watching the YouTube video, consider joining our Discord, link in the description. Consider subscribing for sure if you're interested in more Reverend Insanity. Or I don't know, more stuff. I don't know. That's it. Yeah. Alright boys, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.